Okay, so the good thing is there's not actually that much to talk about in this video. So we're watching this mechanics video. This just got released. To be honest with you, it's a little bit too starter guide for pros like myself, you know. God bless them. They're doing great work with this stuff. A lot of this, I think, is geared towards, you know, obviously newcomers to the series, people who have never played this game or this series before, and they've been really good overall, to be honest with you. So I picked out the interesting stuff from it, right? And maybe one of the biggest questions that people who have been watching matches for this game so far is, what is the role of instant block? You know, we played the first beta, instant block didn't do anything. We played BlazBlue, instant block didn't do anything. And so they were finally like, you know what? We might have to make instant block do something. And every player was just like, thanks for listening, finally. So they finally made it do something. The question is, what?
When performed successfully, your character shines white and you remain close to the opponent.
Yeah, so this is probably the most obvious thing, is the reduced pushback on normals and specials, I'm assuming, right? This is important for a lot of reasons. It's in Guilty Gear with like multi-hitting specials or a lot of strings. Sometimes attacks can be unsafe, but because of pushback, they might be difficult for you to punish, or it might leave the other character at a range where, you know, there's not much you can do about it, you know? So that's where the instant block system comes in traditionally, where you can take advantage of being able to change frame data and also be able to change pushback on attacks. This is not just Guilty Gear, by the way. This is all the Arc System games. You know, Persona's done this, BlazBlue's done this, and we'll get back to that in a second. But so far, they're showing you just that. You know, you can definitely reduce pushback, take some attacks that maybe are unsafe and make them a little bit unsafer by leaving them in recovery closer to you. That gives you more options to be able to do stuff and be able to turn the tides, right? They don't mention anything about frame data changes, but based on what we've watched in matches and footage, it doesn't look like that's off the table. They haven't really explained it or come out and said it yet, but I do suspect that there's probably going to be some IB reduction in block stun, or maybe it imposes some other rule on the attacker. Not sure. The jury's still out on that until we get clarification, but we'll probably find out by the end of this weekend.
Faultless defense. A powerful method of blocking that consumes your attention gauge. You can use this to nullify chip damage and put more distance between yourself and the opponent than with standard blocking.
So yeah, this is also standard, right? Legacy mechanic for this series. Faultless defense is basically just use this push block. Like you said, you negate chip on a lot of specials, but you also push the other player off of you, right? So if there is something that maybe, you know, there's some attacks where maybe you don't want them to stay close to you, right? You just want them to get away. You want them to have to try to dash in, or that you want them to have to try to find their way in again. It's going to give you additional block frames, so you recover slower. But when you spend your meter to do it, you push them back further away, so they have to take more time to get back in. So you have to, usually with these games, it's about juggling normal block, instant block, and faultless defense based on the kind of offense you're facing, and juggling those options. You have to decide which is going to be best for what situation, you know?
Instant faultless defense.
Now this is where it gets interesting.
When performed successfully, your character shines white, and it creates a large distance between you and the opponent.
So now you see them actually stepping it up. You know, for a long time, I thought BlazBlue, just on the basis of defense, was actually a more complex game than than modern GG. 4 different types of block and stuff like that, and it seems like with Strive they're actually going to go that route. So you not only have block, you not only have instant block, you not only have faultless defense, but they actually added, you know, shouts to BlazBlue, instant faultless. So again, it's hard to really talk at length about it, just because we don't really have all the info. I have to think there's going to be some form of frame data influence overall with instant block, and it's going to be different between instant block and instant faultless. That's how that works. Yeah, so you see one of the differences here, right? It looks like faster recovery, but more pushback. So you get the benefit of pushing back more, but then also you get some additional benefit from IB. Looks like he recovers a little bit faster. So maybe if there's a situation where maybe you don't want to go for a punish, maybe they're doing something safe, right? But you want to be able to give yourself a little bit of extra time to escape the corner, take some kind of defensive maneuvers, right? That might be something that you look to this mechanic for. Time will tell. We'll find out this weekend. The point is, it's a different kind of blocking mechanic, and one that you're going to have to, again, you're going to have to be looking at your opponent, seeing what kind of strings they're doing, knowing what kind of normals they're going to be doing within that string, how they're going to end it in what special. Again, it's going to depend on just how they influence frame data and what the differences are between them. But you should be very excited about them even having something like this in the game. Having another option like this defensively is going to make for more interesting and more engaging, I think, tug-of-war matches on offense and defense. The RC system, I think this is one of the best things about it.
Its properties vary depending on your character's state when used. When used the moment you hit the opponent with an attack, it generates a red shockwave.
Yeah, so Red Roman, the only way that it's really different compared to previous iterations is just the fact that now everybody gets like this universal pop-up, so it makes conversions on it a little bit more universal, less special, less attack specific. That's not good, generally. I think that's something that kind of made combo routing and stuff like that really, you know, unique. But overall, still the system is pretty good.
When used while not attacking, it generates a blue shockwave.
Yeah, so this is just neutral RC. This is the cool thing about this one is, again, like, although time does stop, it does something more than just like being intrusive on the gameplay like Xrd, right? You inflict the slowdown status on the opponent like that. Overall, it seems a little bit more interesting comparatively, I think.
When the shockwave touches the opponent, it temporarily slows their movement.
So when it says it slows their movement, I guess I still don't really have a clear answer on this from the first beta. Does it affect their inputs? Is it like YRC where it eats inputs? I don't think it is, but does it affect their speed and their ability to do things, to do actions? I don't know.
When used before an attack hits or as it ends, it generates a purple shockwave.
Yeah, purple RC, pretty standard if you come from Xrd.
Also slows the opponent down on contact. If you perform the same input as dash right before the Roman cancel activates, you can perform the Roman cancel while moving quickly in the direction inputted.
Yeah, so I've talked to death on like defensive RC and how I don't like it compared to dead angle, but seeing drift, we've seen it in some of the matches that we've seen so far. We've seen stuff, a lot of characters use stuff like, I guess these are going to be kind of universal mix-ups and universal applications of the RC system, but you've seen them do stuff like drift on the ground to be able to score a throw, or be able to use a left-right using RC drift. But in the air, you've seen them do fast falls with it. I wonder if you can go up if you still have your jump, or even like air dash from it to create more left-right situations. That was something that we saw like Milia players. I'm looking for them, man, to really show some grind with drift, especially. Them and Zato players is kind of what I'm thinking, but the drift system is at least interesting, I think.
Also, Roman cancels can be cancelled right after activation with normal attacks and special moves.
So that's fast RC. They briefly allude to it. They don't make a big deal about it, but I think that's going to be high. I guess interesting to see how it develops from here. The Gatling system is so limited, but the combo system is like everything works, right? In theory, you should be able to do like anything with it, but it'll be interesting to see how people try to apply it and do it for, you know, use it in offense, you know? But yeah, so far, yeah, I think the RC system's tight. I want to see what stuff people come up with the RC system, but I also want to see application of not just instant blocking, but faultless instant block, because that's new. You know, that's never been in a Guilty Gear game. That's BlazBlue mechanic. So it also makes me consider maybe Team Blue has had more of a hand in this game than maybe we originally thought. You know, they slowly infiltrated the battle planning committee. Maybe, I don't know. The hype thing for me is gonna be when players with the characters find a way to basically tell the devs like, go fuck yourself. You know, just like, like, you want me to break the wall? You want me to do this? Fuck you. Take it back mid-screen. Just do it again. You know, that moment is gonna be like, yes, yes. Anyway. I thought this video was cool. Looking forward to the beta. It's only a few days away. And, yeah, let me know what you guys thought was tight about it. Catch you guys later.